host, of course, Captain85, but you see Captain5 up there today. For some reason, I don't know. I checked the text, and it's always something when something is going on and you're trying to make sure it's professionally done. But welcome to the show anyway. We'll correct that later. But nevertheless, we here, blessed to be here. And of course, as we continue the series of Help Wanted, because there's so much stuff going on in our community that we still need help to protect our future generation, our future leaders. And of course, you know that I am your host, Captain85, a better looking picture than what I look like. How is that? But welcome to the show. Good afternoon. This is a beautiful Saturday, and we're just here briefly today. They they went in and changed the studio around, and since I hadn't been on it since Thursday, I didn't get a notice that they were going to do that, but they restructured the studio. So when I normally go in, and that's why I probably got the eight is missing, but in putting up everything, information so that it'll stroll across the screen, and it's not there for the simple reason I don't know. I know when I typed it in, I went back and checked it, but nevertheless, they are upgrading the studio with this streaming service that I use, and but we're not gonna get stuck on what they're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. And want to say, today, want to say the voting is over. The voting has been counted in Virginia Beach, and Jennifer um, in Virginia Beach won the election. Jennifer Rouse is now is a city council woman, Jennifer Rouse, and her husband, who will be stepping down, I think, first of the year because he'll be running for the Senate. And congratulations to Jennifer Rouse and all the other ones now. The number of Afro-Americans on city council in Virginia Beach numbers 4. And want to say congratulations to all the candidates that run and those that have been serving. But, with the new district lines, we have 10 areas. It's not an at-large system no more. Whatever district you stay in, 1 through 10, you have the ability to vote. And whenever a problem come up, you now can go to city council and speak directly to the person that's going to be representing you. And it's 10 different people, 10 different districts. So you have to, find out what district, if you voted, you would know. And the key component is that these people are selected and voted for to serve you, not themselves. So, we have to see, we have change. We asked for change. Now we got change. Now we must be able to go to city council and support the 10 city council people there and disagree with the 10. Unless it's the person in your district that's championing something that you need to be fixed. And there are things in city Virginia Beach needs to be fixed. There is no, we doing the best we can. Well, now we have 4 new Afro-American people on this city council. And it's beginning to look a lot like the melting pot that Virginia Beach is. It's not one race. We are getting stuck on colors, that black and white, yellow and red man, the white man. God didn't create colors. He created human beings. And if we start saying human beings, we will get a better understanding on how to treat one another. I may not treat you like my sister or my brother, but we will be able to understand we are all human, and we'll look at one another in a different manner. As they say, whatever you speak into existence, your mind creates it for you. We create racism. We create hatred by the words that we use. We use words that make us not like or love one another. In most settings, it's called indoctrination, like with young people or with Afro Americans. You have been indoctrinated. I've talked to foreigners from other countries, and they say, y'all are indoctrinated. Y'all are indoctrinated. Well, I think y'all are indoctrinated too, because you don't understand that you're a human just like I am, and you calling yourself a piece of crayon. They got you stuck on crayon, black, white. You got to vote for the red party. You got to vote for the blue party. You got to vote for the white party, independence. Everybody got a color behind them. Everybody use colors to express who they are. Why don't you just express, I'm human. I am human. You may not like the way I look. It's like looking up in the sky and saying, I don't like the color of the sky. I'm going to change it. But you can't. I don't like the color of night. And I know you're real frightened at night because it's black. I guess, and then when you say, get the spite, yeah, those are elements. Those are the conditions of the environment that we stay in, the surroundings of the planet itself, the surroundings of the universe. We can't change it. But we can change the way we look and treat one another. Love is the only way to do that. Sitting down and talking to one another. Congratulations, the election is still not over on the national level. But even the Democrats are even marvel at change. And they thought they was going to lose more seats. You can't trick everybody. You can't trick everybody because you can't trick God. Religion plays the most important key to any element that we reach, but we don't use it. We don't talk about the Bible. We go to church. Somebody tell us, I might be wrong. I don't know if that's the picture or not. That's the wrong one. We don't want to talk about the Bible because, here we go. Here we go. But if you understood it, you would use it. And that is, the Bible is your roadmap to here on earth. Because you are spiritual creatures. Spiritual, meaning that God gave you a part of him when he created this marvelous universe that we live in, this marvelous place we call earth. And I changed that and started saying Mother Earth, the birthplace of all life, all creatures, from the food chain to humans of all races, not colors, races. So when we perpetuate hatred in our hearts and in our minds, whatever a man thinketh, a man become. That's why it's important to read the Bible. It tells you everything you need to know about you. Why? Because God made man in his own image. And how did he do it? When we say made, of course, because we make everything. We make breakfast, we make dinner. Don't you know you made it with your hands? You made it with your hands. God only molded the body. He said, I molded man out the clay of the earth. That means if you go get a piece of clay and you can mold it to anything you want, but it's going to sit there. It ain't going to come to life. But God created, he said, and then I breathed into man's nostrils and gave him life. What a gift. What a gift. A gift of life. Part of the all-knowing, all-magnificent God brought you into this world, and and beyond, so that you can enjoy life and have it more abundantly. But the evil one, jealousy, the angel known as Lucifer, or we call it the devil, wanted to challenge God. And God kicked him out of heaven. He was the minister of music. He saw that music had power over the humans. And he said, I can control them. But I know you didn't come for preaching. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is you have to get your kids and you sit down and talk to them about the Bible. You have to structure what they learn up until the age of 12. After 12, all their sins and all the things that they do, they're on their own. That's why when the police, the man coming and get them, he puts them in jail, reform school, or prison. You got 3 steps before you get to the last one. You can get detention in school. If that don't work, you go to reform school. That don't work, you go to jail. If that don't work, then you go into prison. And it seems to me the people that I have met throughout my career and talked to, it seems that they find religion when they go to jail. But people don't want to talk about it on an everyday basis. But when people go get locked up, the only thing that saved me was the Bible, reading the scripture, because they weren't taught before they got into a situation. The old gospel song, train them while they're young so that they won't go wrong, because it's a shame on you. It's a shame on the parents. The parents are responsible for their child's upbringing. They teach them the right way before the world make them go another way. And people say, well, I want to have a child. Are you responsible? Not just putting clothes and feeding them, but mentoring and educating them mentally and spiritually. Because mentally and spiritually is what's going to guide them emotionally when they deal with other people. With some other people or other humans, I've been taught that you don't have to respect them. You don't have to respect them because we got a label called Black, Negro, the N-word. We got all sorts of names for people to describe when they get angry. When they said they didn't want kids to be talking about history, and history is just like religion. It tells you about the things that have occurred here on earth, the things that your mother and father, your grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, and your great-great-great-grandparents, and your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, which is entitled to be ancestors, went through to get you where you are today. And I know a lot of our grandparents are shaking their heads and say, I never thought I would see my family generation deteriorate and do the things that they're doing. Millions didn't make it. But you want to be the one that said you did. Because upon your shoulders, your children, your cousins, your nieces and nephews can stand on your shoulders and direct their kids and their kids and grandkids about the struggle for the 400 or more years that our families and ancestors was in slavery because our ancestor was already here. They was already here. But we can only talk about the 400 years of slavery. But our ancestry go way beyond 400 years of slavery before we weren't slaves. But they don't want you to learn that. But they can't stop you from learning it now because it's on the internet. And also, the internet has a lot of negativity up there about us, and it has some positive things. It has some educational information and resources, but it's up to us to talk amongst ourselves in an intellectual way so that we can understand what's propaganda, how they use trickery in words, pictures, to keep us unbalanced. That's why the election turned the way it did out. Because people, not only black people, all humans on earth is getting tired of the madness. Now, I've been in the presence only for a brief moment. It was at a Broadway play called Raisins in the Sun. Who starred in it? Puffy, or P. Diddy at the time. And I sit right across the row. Only I could just lean over and, in the plays in New York, the places are so you can reach over and just shake hands with people in the next aisle. That's how you can just lean over. Hey, how you doing? You know, but he seemed to be a nice guy. He seemed to be a nice guy on first meeting him and his fiancee at the time, who's now his wife. They were sitting there watching the play, and Raisin in the Sun was a mixed audience. A lot of celebrities were there up front. And, I didn't want no cheap seats. So where we were sitting at won't cheap, but the price didn't matter. I just wanted to take my wife, who at the time was my fiance, and I took her and we sat right across from Donald Trump. I didn't want to interrupt him, but a lot of people was walking up, getting pictures and selfies. And I don't know why I didn't take one. History made, and I just overlooked it. I've been in so many celebrities and places with celebrities and party with celebrities, but I never, at the time when I never thought about taking pictures. I'm like, oh, well, I'm out to have a good time. I'm not taking no selfies. I'm not, asking people for pictures. I just wanted to observe and relax for a brief moment. Like I tell people, I've been videoing there since the video came out. The cameras. I threw away a lot of not DVDs, but the VH tapes when I moved. There was so many. I just like, I can't take all these but I should have kept them. It was history going by. And that's why I do this show. That's why I come on when I do, to expose people to using the technology that they have at hand. We can bridge the gap. Young people are bridging the gap. All this technology, and I've been having a computer ever since Radio Shack created the Tambi. It was called a Tambi computer. It did Kobo, and at the time you didn't have, before the internet came along, you just had the computer. You could type, write papers, and whatever software you could put on it. But then when AOL came along, and I was one of the first people on AOL when it came out, and you was connecting with other people in the internet. Other companies start developing. AOL was developed by Ted Turner. Then you got the Google by other companies. You got all these other search engines now and sites you can join. But who invented the internet? The United States government. That's why I use Vice President Al Gore said he invented the internet, because at that time it was Al Gore and Bill Clinton. They passed the bill for the internet to put up so many billions of dollars to invent the internet. It was invented for the military. So all you got to do is do your research. And some things just common sense. Man didn't have might had the ability to create, but they didn't have the money, the resources. Private industries came along after the government said, hey, we'll put X number of dollars. If you can match them, we'll help you. And that's how we got it. That's how we got all this vast technology that used to be written in comic strips, like the Jetsons, the comic cartoons. Meet George Jetson and his wife and his kids. They had what we have today. That was way back in the 60s. And we got computers. Next year, you'll be able to purchase flying cars, helicopter cars. You already got cars that drive themselves. That's what the Jetsons was about. Dick Tracy, the private detective. Dick Tracy calling Joe Gypsy. Dick Tracy to Joe Gypsy. Joe Gypsy, are you there? Come in, Joe Gypsy. That was the cell phone that you used to wear on your arm. That now we use video with the iPhones. Camera watches. Yeah. Look how far we done came. Back in the day when Carol's, before there was a McDonald's, it was Carol's. You could go there and get a hamburger for 5 cents. That's right. 5 cents French fries, 5 or 10 cents, or 10 cents and 5 cents. Man, you think you were living. You was living. Then you hit the chicken places. And they had one in Portugal called Mole'sbury. You can go there and get something from Mole'sbury, man. You thought you was eating alcohol. It was like when you take a woman out, if you say you're taking a Mole'sbury, her face lit up. Man, the good old days. You could ride around in a car in the 60s for 5 cents a gallon. For $1 or $3, you could fill your car up and ride for a week. Now that 5 cents then turned into $6 and $7. But the election is showing that we can no longer sit by and let big business lobby the senators and congressmen, the delegates, to get bills passed to take money out your pocket, to keep you in poverty, to keep you in debt. If they are paying you a good salary, you don't have to go borrow money. Money is like loan sharking, because that's really what it is, loan sharking. If you ain't got 800 credit, good salary, where they pay 1% and 2% interest, that's fine. But you ain't paying 1 or 2% interest. You paying anywhere from 23 to 27% interest on $1. For those that don't understand, you got $1, get some change. Get a quarter worth of nickels and coins, and you still got 2 quarters. Now take those 2 quarters for every credit card you got, and take that $1 and take a nickel and a quarter. That's 30 cents on every $1 that you're going to borrow. So if you borrow $1,000 and it's compounded daily, you're going to pay interest on that money until you bring the balance down. And you're still going to pay it, and you try to pay on time so you don't mess up your credit. Educate your young people about credit. They want you to get in debt. Because once you're in debt, you are working for the man. We all work for him. I work for him because I ain't got no deep pockets. So I have to go to him and borrow money to pay my bills or to buy something or to buy a car, to buy a house. Educate your young people so they will know that having money is not the root. It is the root to all evil because you got to work to survive. At this day and time in my life, I should be living high off the hog. But when I started back in the 70s, no, in the 80s, late 60s, I worked for $1 an hour for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, for $1 an hour. Sometimes when I started, when I was a teen, I couldn't work no more than 8 or 12 hours a week because the government didn't allow you. When I turned 18, I could work 40 hours a week. But of course, black guys didn't get but $1. The white guys was getting $1 more, $1.20 or $1.30 or 40 cents more an hour. But did it deter me from working my best? No, because my mom taught me, showed me, do a good job and you get paid. My first job, my mom got it for me. My mom went and asked the guy at Tidewater Produce where they hiring. And he said, well, you looking for a job? She said, no, I'm looking for my son. And he asked her how old he was. He said, well, tell you what, I do need some part-time help. If you want to bring him up here one day so I can meet him and talk to him, I'll see what I can do. And I went up there. She took me up there. I went in, spoke to him. He said, yeah, I can give you a job. When can you start? I said, he said, how about tomorrow? And I worked there for almost 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Well, I did work there for 3 years because I left there and I went to, got a job at GE. And I worked there for a couple of years. I don't work well on jobs. A couple of years. The only job I worked at before I became a DJ was Colonial Steel Warehouse. I worked there for 7 years. 7 years. I like work. I like to work, man. You know, I get in because it's a challenge to me to learn things. Your mind is constantly want to learn things. And I learned everything about every job I went on. When I worked in the warehouse, I learned how to operate a forklift, operate a gas forklift. And then I walked a propane forklift. Learn how to unload trucks, learn how to load train cars, learn how to unload and load trucks. Learn how to drive a truck. That's how I learned how to drive a stick shift. The guy said he wanted me to go and take 50 cases of French fries to Carl's. And I said, I don't know how to drive. I don't know how to drive. He said, well, you're getting ready to learn today. Man, I got in that big truck, man. I was burning up the gears. I hit the gears. The truck started rolling back. Good thing won't no car, but close up behind me because I would have hit it. Man, I was scared to death. He said, you made it. You made it back. You know, you're going to have to start learning how to drive a truck. Man, they just put you behind the wheel. That was it. It was on your own. But I learned. Got my own route, but I learned. Everything I do, I put 150% in it because I'm in it to win it. When I was a paper boy, I did the same thing. The reason why I tell you my story is because young people need to know things ain't easy. People need to know that if you really, truly want to learn something in life, you have to put your best foot forward. Our young people today has been indoctrinated to pick up a gun and kill someone that looks like them. We need help in our community. We need help in our community. My campaign in 2023 is not to take back our community because we don't own it. You can't take something that you don't own. This is how you get indoctrinated because the kids are saying, if you own it, how come we don't have our own house? And Larry and Sally down the street, their mom and dad own their house. We have no ownership. So you can't take back something you don't belong, that don't belongs to you. Stop fooling our young people. That's why I guess I left they took the 8 off my 5. And I'm sometimes called Captain 5. You know, with close friends, they'll call me 5. But the name is Captain85 for a reason. For a reason. And someday I will explain that. Everything that you see me do comes out of the scriptures. The things that I do, the things I try to accomplish. And I have accomplished a lot in my life. Whether or not I get credit for it or not. My picture's been in the newspaper ever since I was in junior high school. I was looking at a display of the future when they was talking about computers. They had all the little different things that would make a computer. And the photographer from the Letter Star, Virginia Pilot, came up behind me and took a picture of me watching the display. I've been in news ever since. And I was about 12 or 13 then. God don't make mistakes. He put us here and put us in a place where we have to do what he wants us to do. It is our job to raise our kids. It is our job as the ancestor. It takes a village to raise a child. How can you raise a village when the village that we stay in is called community? It's called a community. Now, how can you communicate when the first word in community is commune? Meaning that you're going to talk to one another. Ain't nobody talking and these people ain't talking in the community today. That's why we have so much violence. Nobody's talking. We're angry. We're taking it out on one another for our conditions that we didn't create. We've been told it's easy to live if you carry a gun. People are shooting people every single day. Why can't you just put the guns down and talk? If you're angry with somebody, well, let's go out here in the field and fight. Just me and you. You don't need a crowd. You don't need nobody cheering you along. When you get tired, you'll say, okay, we'll call it a draw or you win. No, we got all the people in the neighborhood. All the people in the community cheering. Yo, kick his butt, kick her butt, pull her hair out. And we even got parents going out there. Slap her, punch her in the face, hit him. That ain't the way. My mother never brought us up. Never brought none of her children up to fight each other. If we fought each other, we got our butt tore up. We got a beating for real. My mom would tell us in a minute. You go to school from elementary. If you go to school and get in a fight, get sent home, you're going to get your butt tore up by your dad. And you already know what that's going to be like. Because my dad didn't play. He did not play. So I learned very well. You go to school, sit there and learn. Don't get sent to the office. These kids go to the office like they're going to church. Well, no, not like going to church, because most of them don't go to church. Like they going to the 7-Eleven, let's say that. Because they want to go by there every time they got something in their pocket. We don't teach our kids to save money. How they going to know how to manage money if you don't teach them at home? Why are your kids out after 9 o'clock? You home? They should be home. Why are they roaming the streets, coming in around 10, 11 o'clock? Like they got a job. If you got a job, that's a different thing. But I'm going to pick you up and make sure you home. You ain't walking. I'm not putting that stress on you. Why are you putting your stress today on kids? When darkness fall, it means you better go in the house. You better be in the house, because there ain't nothing good happening if you ain't working. If you're not out with supervisory, why are you out? We are teaching our youth the wrong message. Respect. Respect. And that means yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Every police officer, I don't care what race, creed, or color you want to call him, he wears one uniform, and it's blue. You ever seen police officers in a black uniform? You ever seen police officers in a red uniform? You ever seen them in a yellow uniform? They wear one. Police officers wear blue. Sheriffs wear brown. Detectives wear whatever color a suit. Because that's a little bit above their bed. That's their pay grade. But don't get it twisted. That's somebody's dad. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's brother, uncle, granddad, great nephew, great aunt, mom. Why don't you just say they human? And you'll look at them in a different way. They feel just like you feel. Oh, yeah, they put up that front. I'm the baddest thing on the block, baby. That's why when you look at them in the eye, that's why they got sunshades on. Everybody got fear of something. That's why you wear them. Because you fear being shy. You're hoping people like you for who you are. But most people don't like you for who you are. They like you for what they want you to be. If you be what they want you to be, they love you to death. That's why you have people joining gangs. That's why you have people on in a group. Yo, that's my man. That's my girl. My hand girl. That's my ride or die. Well, why you want to ride and then die? I ain't figured that one out yet. Ride or die. I got your back. Well, how come when your friend got killed, you won't lay in beside it? How come that? Ride or die. You both supposed to be dead. Did you ever see the movie Bonnie and Clyde? Bonnie didn't live, nor did Clyde. They both died in the car. Back in the 60s, they used to bring it around to shopping centers or malls and let people see the car, the original car, Bonnie and Clyde, where the FBI killed them in. Well, they weren't in there. The buzz stains were, the gunshots were from a Tommy gun that they used with about 15 or 20 FBI agents. They didn't have a chance to live. We got gangs, they gone, and the people that was in the gang still living with money. Everybody has a price to pay before they leave this earth. Stop selling your soul to the devil. All money ain't good money. All music you listen to ain't good music. Because you're a part of the earth, there's certain music that will drive you and influence you more. But you got to have a balance. You got to know how to change the frequency from that negativity because there's negativity in the music. And if you say, well, nah, man, I don't want to hear that, well, then why are you listening to it? Because you don't want to hear what I got to say. I've been doing this battle for years. I've been a DJ for over 50 years. I've been listening to music all my life. I don't tell people what to do. What I try to tell you, and when I do my shows, is to tell you to think about what you're doing. Don't give your life away because someone else want to put you in harm's way. You can't save nobody. I can't save you, but I can tell you about someone who can save you. I can tell you about the love of Christ. I don't have to run it down your throat, as they say, shove it down your throat. What I can do is play music that's positive, R&B, rock. Everybody has negativity in their music somewhere, but you have to be the one to pick and choose what you want to listen to. Every artist want to appeal to you. You fail to realize an artist is just like you were. Nobody knew them, but they have a machine behind them. It's called the record label that will lend them the money to pay other people to go out and promote their products. And then the record label owns them until they get their money back. And they own their masters. That's why a lot of our top celebrities are dead. Because if you ain't making no money, they own your royalties from all the music that you make goes to them. If you're dead, if you're not married, it all stays with the record label unless you make a will out. You'd be surprised the millions and billions of dollars that our brothers and sisters in the entertainment business has made and may not even reaped most of their benefits. Ray Charles, the movie, look at it. Ray was the first Black person that owned his masters. When he went to CBS, Ray. When the guy said, "Well, Ray, we don't really do that. We don't give nobody their masters." Well, what Ray say? Well, if you want me to come over here, you give me mine. The guy said, well, Ray, I guess we'll work that deal out. When you get famous, and if you want to be famous, pick and choose who your friends are. Pick and choose the type of music you want to sing. You have a message inside you. You don't have to do the negative stuff. That's what the world wants to hear. That's what the record label tell you. Well, you got to play this. You got to make this. Okay. If you want a record deal, you'll come rich and you'll come famous. But that's why I tell you to read the Bible. It's in there. It says, what is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What is it? How much money does it take you to live? How many houses can you stay in? How many cars can you drive? And you grew up with people that have less than you have. And some people try to help people and wind up being broke. One is MC Hammer. He had people giving people, his friends, jobs and giving them big salaries. But he's doing okay now. He's in the tech field. I had the pleasure of having him to stop by Picasso's. And he danced with every person that wanted to dance with him, young lady. He got on the floor and they got him in a circle, and then he danced with, pull him out there in the circle and danced with him. He stayed there till 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, "Y'all still open? Y'all can stay open this late?" He said, "We ain't got no club in LA or California like that. Man, I like this. Y'all can drink." "No, we can't drink though, bro. We can't drink. That's the private clubs. Private clubs can sell liquor all night long to members and their guests. But a regular club can only do it from the time they open to 1:45. 1:45, all liquor sales stop, and you have 10 minutes to get all drinks up. Not 1 minute after 2, up. 5 to 3 minutes before 2 o'clock. I'm the most successful person that ran a club in this area. Reason why I don't do it no more, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress. My medical conditions changed, and other problems was I was so successful that the cities didn't want me doing it. I'm the only DJ that's ever played 7 nights a week with me, Tony, and Gary and Lord Vines at a club called The Main Event on Colley Avenue. 7 nights a week. And we had a packed place every night. Monday night was our biggest night. So nobody has played to more people in this area than Captain85 and the Royal Horsemen, because I gave him that name when I went to the Royal Blue. That's where the Royal come in at, the Royal Horsemen. But I try to get people to explain it's not about me. It was about my community. When I first started playing, I used to play mostly for a white audience because they're the ones that wanted to hire me for private parties, weddings, and events. And they paid me very well. They had offered me to open up clubs for me. And that's how I got to the Blue Hawaii in Portsmouth that was in Mid-City that's now no longer there. I've been blessed ever since I've been a DJ, but I had to make a decision. I sat down one night thinking, I said, I like playing the people that I play for. I saw a different perspective because most of the people were there was white. But through my learning and studying, I said, but people that look like me won't get an opportunity to hear me play. So I made a choice to start searching for places where Black people could go. I played at Batman's Den. I played at a place called the Taj Mahal on West Little Creek Road, upstairs, over by Meadowbrooks and Titustown. Like I said, I always got a crowd wherever I went. But some people didn't like the crowd because there's too many Black people, or in other words, when we went to court, they would say undesirable characters, and the judge would throw it out. But what I try to get people to understand is that It's always been a blessing for me to try to help my people because I grew up not having places to go. And then when I learned to DJ, a gentleman by the name of Bob Fields, aka Mr. Magic, aka the man that made things work. Nobody in the history played to more people than Bob Fields. They had an 18-page write-up on him one time because he was successful in what he did. He had a car that you only saw in a movie, and that was Superfly. I don't know if it was his car or he had one like the one in the movies, or the movies had one like him before it came out. And the difference is he had a phone, an actual working phone in his car. He was a bad man. Bob Fields, man, when you went to his place to dance, the flow stayed packed with his friends, Bozo and Ray, and a lot of names I can't remember now because it's been so long and most of them are past. John, you know, and they were a team, dressed very well. I studied everything that he did. And when I started following him, he would call me and my friends, because I used to play, learn how to play tamarines in church. Then my friend Jesse, he would play, when we start going out, he would have this block. We went and got wood blocks, Fuji's. That's the thing with change. It's got a lot of change and you spin it back and forth. Man, when Bob would play, we would play the instruments. And what he would do to introduce us to the audience of 500 or 600 people, he said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take time to introduce my rhythm section. And he would turn the music all the way down. And we would play the instruments and the people just kept dancing and screaming. And man, he said, y'all follow me anywhere. I hope y'all follow me wherever I go, man. Now, y'all bad. And that's when I went to him and asked him, how do you become a DJ? He said, I tell you what, come by my record store over there across the street from Booker T. Washington in that shopping center where Bishop Willis had WOWI 103. It was 103 then. It wasn't 103 Jam. It was just WOWI 103. They was in that shopping center. And I went there, man, and I used to leave my paycheck there because I had to have every song he pulled out. He told me how to go home and construct my DJ booth. I called my brother in New York. I needed money to get me a soundboard amp at the time. It was I used a mixing board that I used for concerts or bands. And he sent me the money. He said, as soon as I go out, I'll send you $1,000 and let me know if you know more than that. We called him Smokey, but his name was Levi Bond. But he always supported me and my sister, Eve, who, if you ever came to Picasso's, she was the lady that sat at the register who passed away when we were still at Picasso's. It was about family. It was about the community, to have a safe place. I don't work for money. I work to make a living, but I work for the community. Don't get it twisted. Don't believe the hype that the news media and the city propaganda machine will tell you. I work for the city. Never work for I work for everybody. But the city has never made the money since Picasso's closed up. Because once Picasso's closed, all the restaurants that used to be open at night lost revenue. that relate turn into taxes for the city. After 2003, when I stopped, after then, all the clubs began to close. By 2010, most of the clubs were closed. Restaurants were closed. Because there's a domino effect. One thing you learn about life, if you do something well, other people will emulate it. It will grow. Like now, we got Afro Americans starting their own businesses because one person can't just sell a t-shirt. You got to have hundreds to supply the millions of people. People won't help you. Oh, I ain't buying nothing from them. I already got t-shirt. What? You know why you buying from him? Because you all are in business. I can't buy all your t-shirts because I'm not going to wear t-shirts every day. So I'm going to buy and support people that look like me. But you don't have a product or service that reflects something that has to be replaced. Clothing, you can only replace it once or twice a month. You don't have that kind of money and you don't have that kind of storage in your house. So understand what you're doing. Understand where your money's going. The most important thing about life is to teach your young people money, the value of it, and what doors it open and what doors it close when you don't have it. Gun violence perpetuate that. So when we don't really educate and try to get our young people on the right track, then we fail them. But the clock on the wall saying, I've been here 3 minutes, I got left. And once again, I just want to thank you for stopping by. And I know that I usually be starting at 12, but like I said, they started using some new technology, upgrading the service. And well, every time I went in to set up, it kept kicking it out until I was able to say, well, I'll do it this way. Once again, I want to say congratulations. Take this last moment to say congratulations to City Council Ross, to City Council Miss Ross. Aaron Ross is her husband. Welcome to Virginia Beach City Council. And I'm sure that you would do great things as your husband has. And coming up, I think it's December the 11th. Oh, the Queen is going to be here. The Queen. I'm talking about the one and only. She's going to be here. And she will be here to talk about real estate, to get you to know more about real estate and how to make money if you want to be in the business. I call her the Queen. Real estate, that's going to be December the 11th. Something in the hustle. The Queen, that's, she's the Queen. She's the Queen. And we want all our young entrepreneurs to be queen. So December the 11th, I think I got that date right. She will be here. So I hope that you join me. And the voting is over. And like my show is ending. Remember to love yourself and put God first. Everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. Until next time, this has been Captain 85 on the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show.